Las Vegas, the glittering oasis of Nevada, has long been a global beacon for tourists, drawing over 40 million visitors annually with its casinos, shows, and vibrant nightlife. In 2024, 5 million of those visitors came from abroad, injecting billions into the local economy. Tourism accounts for 28% of Nevada's jobs and 37% of its GDP, making the city's prosperity inseparable from its appeal to travelers. However, in 2025, Las Vegas faces an unprecedented challenge: the policies of President Donald Trump. His reintroduced tariffs, 25% on Canada and Mexico, 10% on China, and provocative rhetoric, including calling Canada the 51st state, have sparked a sharp decline in international tourism. This article explores how these policies are reshaping Las Vegas's economy, deterring visitors from Canada, Mexico, and Europe, and threatening the city's status as a world-class destination. Las Vegas, the glittering oasis of Nevada, has long been a global beacon for tourists, drawing over 40 million visitors annually with its casinos, shows, and vibrant nightlife. In 2024, 5 million of those visitors came from abroad, injecting billions into the local economy. Tourism accounts for 28% of Nevada's jobs and 37% of its GDP, making the city's prosperity inseparable from its appeal to travelers. However, in 2025, Las Vegas faces an unprecedented challenge: the policies of President Donald Trump. His reintroduced tariffs, 25% on Canada and Mexico, 10% on China, and provocative rhetoric, including calling Canada the 51st state, have sparked a sharp decline in international tourism. This article explores how these policies are reshaping Las Vegas's economy, deterring visitors from Canada, Mexico, and Europe, and threatening the city's status as a world-class destination. The economic ripple effects are stark. The LVCVA forecasts a 5% decline in room tax revenue, equating to an $18 million loss for 2025. Hotels along the Las Vegas Strip, where occupancy rates typically hover near 90%, reported a 19.6% drop in bookings from January to February 2025. Casinos, a cornerstone of the city's economy, are seeing reduced revenue as fewer high-spending international visitors roll the dice. Representative Dina Titus, a Nevada Democrat, warned, "Tariffs are a tax on our tourism industry, and Las Vegas is ground zero for the fallout." Local leaders like Steve Hill of the LVCVA echo this concern, noting that the city's hospitality sector, employing 436,000 Nevadans, faces layoffs and reduced shifts. Beyond tariffs, Trump's rhetoric is deterring tourists. His 51st state comments about Canada, made in early 2025, provoked outrage north of the border. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau responded with a campaign urging citizens to choose Canada for vacations, leading to a 40% drop in Canadian leisure bookings to Las Vegas, per industry reports. Social media platforms like X are abuzz with Canadian users pledging to redirect their travel to domestic destinations like Banff or international spots like the Caribbean. One X post from a Toronto resident summed it up: "Why go to Vegas when Trump's making us feel like second-class citizens?" European tourists share similar sentiments. German and British travelers, who contributed 1 million visitors to Las Vegas in 2024, cite fears of a hostile U.S. environment. A German tour operator reported a noticeable drop in U.S. bookings, with clients opting for Asia or South America instead. The U.S. Travel Association projects a 9.4% decline in international arrivals to the U.S. in 2025, with Las Vegas bearing the brunt due to its reliance on foreign visitors. Trump's threats of mass deportations and stricter immigration checks have further fueled perceptions of the U.S. as unwelcoming, particularly for Mexican tourists, who fear scrutiny at the border. Las Vegas's economy is uniquely vulnerable to these disruptions. Tourism generates $1.6 billion in state and local taxes annually, with hotels and casinos as the primary engines. The decline in international visitors has led to a cascade of challenges. Hotel occupancy rates, already strained, are projected to fall below 80% in 2025, a level not seen since the 2020 pandemic. Casinos, which rely on international high rollers, are reporting lower table game and slot revenues. Small businesses, from restaurants to souvenir shops, are also suffering. Tariffs on Canadian and Mexican goods, think agricultural products and alcohol, are driving up costs for Las Vegas's famed culinary scene. A bottle of Canadian whiskey, for instance, now costs 25% more, pushing menu prices higher and making dining less competitive compared to destinations like Miami or Los Angeles. Construction, another key sector, is under pressure. Tariffs on imported materials, such as steel and aluminum from Canada, threaten ongoing projects like the Las Vegas Convention Center expansion. New hotel and casino developments, critical for long-term growth, face delays as costs rise. Paul Lagoody, a local business consultant, argues that Las Vegas could mitigate some losses by sourcing goods from tariff-free countries like Guatemala or Costa Rica, but such shifts require time and investment that many businesses lack. The broader economic impact is clear. A city built on welcoming the world is now grappling with a shrinking visitor base. The decline in tourism is deeply tied to strained international relations. Canada, the largest source of international visitors to the U.S., 20.4 million in 2024, is critical to Las Vegas's economy. The 25% tariff on Canadian goods has prompted retaliatory measures, like Ontario's ban on American liquor, which reduces cross-border spending. Canadian tourists, who once flocked to Las Vegas for weekend getaways, are now choosing destinations like Vancouver or the Bahamas, where they feel more welcome. Mexico, another key market, is similarly affected. Trump's mass deportation threats and border wall rhetoric have led to a 24% drop in Mexican leisure travel to the U.S. in early 2025, per Tourism Economics. Mexican tourists, wary of harassment, are opting for domestic destinations like Cancun. Europe presents a more complex picture. Western European visitors, particularly from Germany and the UK, have declined by 17.2% due to trade disputes and perceptions of U.S. authoritarianism. A German blogger, Herbert Bopp, announced he was halting U.S. travel plans, citing Trump's policies as a step too far. The 2026 FIFA World Cup, co-hosted by the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, could offer a lifeline, with Las Vegas as a potential host city. However, current trends suggest that international interest may wane if diplomatic tensions persist. Despite the challenges, Las Vegas has a history of resilience. The city is pivoting to attract more domestic tourists, with marketing campaigns targeting states like California and Arizona, which account for 30% of visitors. The LVCVA is also exploring new markets, such as India, where tourist arrivals to the U.S. grew 20% in 2024. Technological innovations, like automated check-ins and virtual concierge services, could help hotels cut costs and maintain competitiveness. Major events, such as the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, offer hope for a tourism rebound, provided diplomatic relations improve. Industry leaders remain cautiously optimistic. Steve Hill of the LVCVA emphasizes that Las Vegas's brand as a global entertainment hub is strong, but we need policies that welcome visitors, not push them away. Some businesses are adapting by offering discounts to offset higher costs, while others are lobbying for tariff exemptions. However, the road ahead is uncertain, and the city's recovery will depend on balancing economic realities with its identity as a welcoming destination. Las Vegas stands at a crossroads in 2025. Trump's tariffs, immigration policies, and rhetoric have triggered a Trump slump that threatens the city's tourism-driven economy. The loss of Canadian, Mexican, and European visitors, coupled with rising costs, has created a perfect storm for the Strip. Policymakers must address these challenges by advocating for trade agreements that prioritize tourism and fostering a more inclusive image of the U.S. Las Vegas, with its history of reinvention, can adapt, but it will require bold action from industry leaders and government alike. The city's future as a global destination hangs in the balance.